why is it not okay for us to post us? You know what I mean? Like, be comfortable with, this is me and I'm putting it out there. Why do we have to go through several screenings before we put something out there in case it's not received well by social media when it's organically us?
What's going on, creative people? Welcome to episode 6 of the Creatives Are Essential podcast. To my right, I got my brother, Joe.
Yo, what it do?
And to my left, I got his brother, Will.
Yo.
Welcome back.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
William was on a
back.
1-game suspension
Yeah.
for using performance enhancing LUTs.
Stupid.
Right.
And today we were supposed to have a special guest with us, but due to unfortunate circumstances, they couldn't be with us today. But in their place, we have another special guest all the way from the office next door. We have Desirae Corbin, a.k.a. Truly Des.
A.k.a. the 4th member of the show.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
On
Hey.
What's going on?
Nothing much.
So this is actually her first time being on. This is your first time being on a podcast, right?
Yes.
So she has the nerves, but it's okay because it's preparation, because she's actually getting ready to come out with a podcast very soon. So introduce yourself, Des.
Okay. My name is Desirae Corbin, like you said, a.k.a. Truly Desirae on IG and most social media platforms. I am a creative. I don't like using the word influencer, but I am a creative inspirer.
Okay.
I like it.
I like that.
I like
You
it.
like that?
A little flavor there.
Mhm.
A little bit.
It's different too. It's different.
Yes. Kind of, harping on the whole lock thing, fashion, that type of thing. Trying to make women with locks more common. You don't really see them in like the fashion realm and stuff like that. So just trying to make that more everyday occurrence. We see natural hair influencers or natural hair digital creators or whatever, but you don't really see locked women. So just trying to make that a normal thing that you see. So out here doing slight work,
man.
Like slight work, like that picture in the background.
Yeah,
like
tell us about that.
Yes.
That's a nice picture.
That is nice, right? So a friend of mine, this was during Christmas. I think it was Christmas Day, actually. William, actually. Shout
He's
out
the
to William.
friend.
Yeah.
He is the friend. I
It's
was
another
gonna
William, everyone.
do
It's
the
not
whole
this-
thing, but
No, it was me.
but I was actually supposed to take like one picture, just like,
Yeah.
take a Christmas picture, post it, whatever. But it turned into like this whole like shoot.
Yes.
This is
Right there
actually
in the
just
dining room.
Right in
Exactly.
the dining room with no dining room furniture.
Right.
But like I'm like I can't it's hard for me to take just one photo. So
right.
He gets trigger happy.
yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, well, let's just take 2 pictures.
Yeah.
And then
Psych.
1,000 pictures later.
I,
2,000.
But
yeah,
yeah.
that was a great day though.
Yeah.
That was
good.
awkward. Oh.
What I was also, you may have seen her already because she's our resident Creatives Are Essential model. Like she's done,
She's one of our
shoots.
poster children.
Pretty much.
Yes.
So we just happy to have Des on today. I'm happy.
happy to be here.
I'm
and,
happy.
And I just want to take this moment to really like I want to give her her props, because she's really been making a lot of strides and she's really jumping out of her comfort zone doing this. Even this is a big deal.
Breaking out of her shell. And she was so open to it.
Yes, because before she was avoiding it like the plague, but now she's like all happy and giddy, like, come on guys, when we gonna start? So we here.
Externally
she's here.
excited. Internally, I'm like having a whole anxiety thing going on here, but we're good. We're here, so let's do this.
You're dealing with it very well.
Right.
So
Thanks.
Well,
Thanks.
So Des is filling in for a guest. We had a guest, or we had a show kind of lined up around that guest. Like I said, they weren't able to join us. So today we kind of just winging it. We kind of just having conversations that we be having on the regular.
Yes.
So I mean, this is probably going to be a therapy session for me based on the conversations that we were having earlier.
Can I kick it off if
Go for it.
Just the amount of work it took to just get to the recording this was enough alone.
Bruh.
We probably went back and forth about 4 or 5 times. Started recording, stopped recording.
We did.
About 3 or 4 times just to get us to this point. So thank God we're here.
But okay, I didn't want to dive in so quickly.
My fault.
No. You're perfect. You're perfect. Just do we have Kleenex on hand just in case it gets that deep? Like, it's been a lot of that lately. I feel like so much has been a fight. Like every little thing. So like the moment something doesn't go like as planned for me, I'm like, God, did I do something wrong? Like
lost.
It's been a lot lately.
Yeah.
Anybody want to talk about our Houston trip?
I'll talk about it.
Well,
I wasn't even going.
Yeah, he wasn't.
I was going to take him to the airport though, so I was kind of like involved, but not really. So
yeah.
Well, just to give the origin story, we had planned a trip. How long back?
Maybe like a month at this point.
Yeah, like we were supposed to go out to Houston and shoot some stuff. We won't say with who yet, but we were supposed to shoot some stuff, and we were gonna make a whole trip out of it. You know, we were gonna take a few days out there, get some shots, put some stuff together, all that stuff, and then this this gigantic. Well, even before we get there, we got our plane tickets. We got our Airbnb, real nice Airbnb that we was gonna be staying in. Car rented, like all the stuff. We got like everything. We were ready to go, and then we find out about the weather, and the weather's a little wild, right? So we're like, oh, I guess we got to start. We got to get some cold gear,
right? And we were still down for it.
Yeah, we're Floridians. We are used to the Floridian weather, and. So we had to get some cold clothes, and we went and got some, some coats and all that stuff. I'm not the most fashionable person, but some of them kind of had some of the fixings already. I had to go shop, like.
Well, also we were planning on doing a whole shoot for Joe in true. Houston,
yeah.
so that's really why you went to go.
Yeah.
Shop, because we're like, okay, we're going,
right.
okay, right. Cold weather. Let's take this opportunity to look fresh and all that stuff. So.
Yeah. So we did all the stuff, and just as the day is coming, I mean,
I'm still dealing with it.
For all of you out there right now, you know what Houston's been going through.
Texas as a whole.
The weather is not, it is not being a nice person right now, and a lot of these cities weren't set up to handle that type of cold and that type of weather. So. The airports were closed at certain points and like all this stuff. And yeah, it was a whole to do. So I don't know if you want to pick it up from there, but
Des, you pick it up. I'm still healing.
So we get packed. Everything's packed. Me, I tried to pack as little as possible, but it didn't happen like that. But then we all get in a group chat and we're texting each other like, hey, we're excited. We're like, we're pushing through. We're pushing through right. all of because it went from cold to like violently cold.
Yeah.
Like you said.
Right. And that morning when we checked, well, at least when I checked, the flight was still on.
Right.
Right. So it was like right before, I would say 2 hours before.
Yeah.
Or the time that we were supposed to be headed out to get to the airport, you text us and let us know, like, nah.
Hey, guys,
our flight is canceled.
Flight's been canceled. And not only that, but earlier in the morning, our Airbnb had lost power.
Yeah.
So we're like, all right. But even in that, I was like, they may get power back.
Right.
We can stay in a hotel. I was just like, I'm so ready to get out of Florida.
Yeah.
Like, because of COVID, all of my trips last year were canceled. And I feel like I just been so stressed lately. I'm like, okay, let me just get out of Florida. And so I was just I think we were all just so disappointed, brokenhearted.
Yeah.
We went to.
Some took it harder than others.
Who will remain nameless. And it wasn't
me.
It wasn't me.
And it wasn't me. So.
Well, it wasn't me. So.
Well, you weren't going.
Right.
Yeah. I just thought I'd just.
But I think it's funny, even like after that, we found ourselves like, so what do we do now? Like,
right.
Trip is canceled. Like, how do we move on from this point?
It's like, so,
you know what I mean?
So are we unpacking?
Right.
Like, are we going home?
Are we
What's
going
going
somewhere
on?
else?
Did y'all get y'all money back for the Airbnb?
Thankfully, we got our money back for everything.
Okay, good.
Which could have
Yeah.
really been a struggle, and I really would have been hurt. But we
'cause
got
some of them
fully
was
refunded.
trying to play games.
Yeah.
Was trying to
Yeah,
play
Airbnb
games.
specifically was trying to play games, but you know, it worked out. But even before the trip got canceled, we were supposed to be shooting this podcast last week, and that had to get postponed because of something happening with the weather with our guests. So it's just been a lot, guys.
It's been a whirlwind.
It's been a whirlwind.
Yeah, man. But I think even in that, we've kind of had this. Well, let me say this. If you look at it just solely on that, it's like the world is ending. All is lost. Like, yo, this sucks. God, why hast thou forsaken me? Like, all this stuff. But, like, then we really started, like, to sit back and think about it. It's like, you know, I think we were kind of spared in, you know, in this scenario because, like, there are people in Houston right now that are still have been without power for weeks.
Yeah.
You know, like,
Or a good week.
Or, like a long time.
Yeah.
And, like, we were like, oh, well, maybe we could just go to a hotel. Like, oh, by the way, hotels are booked up and people are living in the lobbies. Like people are, like, posted up in the lobbies with their families and stuff. So I was like, yo, we were definitely spared from having to deal with it, possibly being stuck in Houston.
Right. And
or anything
miserable
like that.
and cold.
Yep. And seriously. But it really opened us up to do some other things here as well, I think. So I don't know if we want to get into anything, but
yeah, it's just, you know, even in knowing that, like, we were spared, at the same time, deep within me, I'm still like, of all the weeks for, you know, hell to just freeze over
Literally
in Houston or Texas, like, did it have to be? But that's selfish. But that was a thought.
Yeah.
It was a thought, if I'm being real. I just feel like a lot has just been happening, and, like, everything is, like, every little thing that happens is, like, slowly pushing me, like, over the edge.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kleenex, guys. We should have had some on the table.
Got my sleeve. That's all we got, right? You know?
Yeah.
Well, to put a little spin on things, you know, I think, and we were talking about earlier, sometimes it boils down to perspective. So it's like, yeah, it sucks. But one of the cool things is yesterday was Christina's birthday. Happy belated birthday to her.
Thanks, guys.
And not by the time you guys actually see this, it was
a week
should we
ago.
say the date? Or,
Yeah, my birthday's February 21st. So.
Yes.
So you can send all gifts to, what's your address again? No, I'm just kidding. Don't say
Cash App.
My Cash App is
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
DM me if you really want my Cash App.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off, William.
No, it's fine. But yeah, like, we were still able to do some cool things, and I think some other really cool things transpired this week. And had they not been here, those things may not have happened. So, you know, and going back to what Joseph was saying about what it took for us to even set all this up today, I was gonna say difficult roads lead to beautiful destinations, because we're here right now.
On positivity.
And Des looks awesome in her setup, which is, you know, it's really Christina's desk, but right now it's hers, and it's awesome. So perspective, guys. But I definitely feel that like, that's real, right? Like, that's really disappointing that y'all couldn't go on y'all trip. So I definitely understand that.
But you definitely encouraged me, like, right after we found out we couldn't record earlier, because I'm like, dang, everything is just going wrong, you know. And you're like, well, this must be, like, an important podcast.
Oh yeah,
you know, because it's such a fight.
Yeah,
and I was like,
and that was the second time we had to postpone.
Yeah, we had to reschedule twice.
Right.
Yeah. So third time's a charm. I'm expecting that episode to be, I don't know what it's gonna be, but it's gonna be good. It's gotta be.
Yeah.
So
Real deal Holyfield.
Well, Des, I know you're here for the first time, and like he mentioned earlier, you've been breaking out of your shell, and that's been beautiful to see. So, like, why don't you, like, tell us some of the stuff that you've been doing? Because we're just so proud.
Thanks, guys.
yeah, this is about you.
She's like,
first of all,
you said this was not an interview.
Right? I asked a ton of questions before we started. I'm like, boom, 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 is it going to be this? Oh, no, it's just a conversation. It'll be fine. It's not a job interview. First question. But I just want to start off to say, like, my circle, hence you guys and a few others that's missing, have definitely played a big part in me breaking out of my shell. And being more intentional and seeing, you know, what it is that I have to offer.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely, you know, certain things I'm still kind of like, hence the podcast. And you kind of told everybody about it. So
coming soon. It's just
it's on record now.
It's just accountability.
Right. But so like that, and even, you know, having confidence to post content, to take pictures, video, stuff like that. You know, a lot of people feel like it's just standing in front of a camera and smiling. Yeah, but like you have to have confidence behind it. You know what I mean? Like you can have the dopest outfit, but then like in your eyes and your posture and your demeanor, if you don't have the confidence to rock it,
right,
it's going to show in the pictures or the video. So yeah, it comes from within, and you guys have definitely played a big part, you know, from photos to video to therapy sessions to all of that. You know what I mean? So
there at Starbucks.
Right there at Starbucks.
We don't push her out of her comfort zone. We more like shove her. Right. You know? Oh,
like get in there.
Don't do it. I like the first time we met, and I think we were talking about I think the podcast was brought up. I think the podcast was brought up, and Christina's like, yeah, so when we started next month, and I'm like, wait a second, like
hold up.
Right, like why are we starting so soon? So yeah, that's definitely a push, a shove, you know, in the deep end there. But you know, I'm here, so this is practice. So
it's in the deep end, but you've got floaties, so it's okay. We're not gonna let you drown.
I like that.
Yeah. That's nice.
I like that.
That is nice.
I may
off the top of my head, it just came to me.
I may have to take that one. What are you most excited about right now?
I'm most excited about I guess having my own personal revelation to what you guys see, or like I hear people say of like, oh, you can do this, you know what I mean? I'm like in this box, like, yeah, but let me just post to Instagram. Let me just, you know, like I can't think outside, but the people around me are like, you can do this, you can do a podcast, you can, like all these great ideas. And I'm just like, you know, but to see the end result and to see me actually match their beliefs in me, in the vision. I think that would be, that would be exciting. So,
and isn't that so cool? Like going back, didn't we do an episode on community and how important that is?
Yeah, I was just about to say that.
Yeah, because like that's what we all feel individually.
Right.
I know I do. Like when it's like, y'all, I don't know if I can do that. Like, but everybody else is like, no, you could do that. Like you could do this. And I'm just like in my head, like, I don't know.
Or it's just nice to have people who have ideas that you don't have.
Yeah.
You know, like outside of just people believing that you can do stuff, just the simple fact that people can come up with ideas of something that you can do that you wouldn't normally think of.
Exactly.
You know, because I mean, I deal with that a lot too. It's like, you know, like even reels, right? Reels on Instagram. Like I'm starting to like low key hate social media. Or at least like,
is it low key?
I mean,
it's like mid.
I'm on it a lot. It's just like the dynamics behind it.
Yeah.
And like, so y'all know Mark was on the podcast last time. He's been pushing for us to do reels on Creatives Are Essential. And I was just like, Mark, I don't know. Like, I just like, do we really need to, you know, and he's like, no, we should do it. So he did one, and then we just took it and posted it on there, and literally like the post like exploded. And I'm like, I mean, it was all right. It's not bad. Maybe we should do a little more of these, you know?
Right.
So he's been promoted to director of reels, you know?
It's official because you said it on the podcast.
It's official.
Yes.
The next step up for
Mark.
him will be director of social media. But yeah, director of reels. you know?
Yeah.
But just that push, like, okay, like we need to be doing this. And he does that a lot. Like, we need to be doing this. You know, like he just kind of makes it happen. And I'm like, I wasn't even thinking about that, because if it's up to me, I'll just shoot videos all day and like design content, you know?
Yeah.
Do y'all remember a time, think back, when we used to just post on Instagram because we enjoyed the community of it? Do you guys remember those days?
Yes.
Simpler time.
We were just talking about that.
Yep. Simpler time.
Well, I more so remember the days where Instagram was mainly like a photography app.
That's what I'm
like,
talking about.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And your posts would show up like when you posted them.
Oh, yeah. Chronological timelines or feeds.
And you could go back and put hashtags on old pictures, and it would still show up at the top of that hashtag list.
Yep.
Man, good times.
A simpler
right,
time.
Yeah. Don't work that way anymore.
Now it's like, oh, algorithms.
Yeah.
And the algorithm has adjusted to this. And the way that you can increase your engagement by like saving or sharing and doing all these things. And I'm just lately I've been feeling so rebellious. And I'm just like, F the algorithm. I'm gonna post this video at 1 a.m. and y'all gonna see it and y'all still gonna like it.
What?
And who gonna check me?
Exactly.
Right. Also, who's gonna see it?
Instagram's looking like, fine, go ahead.
Go ahead and do it then.
Yeah, do that.
But here's what I don't understand. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I came in today and I told Christina I wanted to post because I usually post on Mondays, but I didn't get a chance to post at the time that I usually post. So I'm like, dang, like I gotta wait till tomorrow, you know, and that's terrible, you know. But the later I post, depending on the time, not that many people see it. Right. So it's kind of like I have my window of certain times that I like to post. And she's like, bump that. Post when you want to post. I'm like, bet. You know what? I'm going to post it when no one sees it. Because I'm
just like, for me, I'm like, I'm sorry. I know you had to say something. For me, I'm just like, what is the intention behind what we're posting? Like, are we posting it like to get all the likes? And I mean, obviously that makes sense. I mean, we all want like that feedback, but I'm like, I want to post it. I want my intention to be just because I want to share it, not like how much likes and, you know, all this stuff is going to get, you know? So
it's a fine line.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a really fine line, but lately I just been like, man, this algorithm going to adjust to me.
So that's what I was going to say earlier was like, the thing I don't fully understand about the algorithm, or at least how people interact with it, is the algorithm changes frequently. This we know, right? So then somebody will make a video on YouTube or something like, well, here's how to get the best result from the algorithm, whatever. In my mind, Instagram or Facebook or whoever is looking at these videos, it's like these people are providing solutions to perform better on the algorithm. But then can't Facebook just look at the video and be like, oh, so we're going to change that, so that doesn't work?
I mean,
so that
I'm sure they can, but are they? I mean, honestly, they do make enough money to like pay people to just look at stuff.
Yeah.
In my mind.
Hasn't the algorithm changed over time? Like it's not the same.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah. It's always changing. They're always updating and always.
That's what I'm saying. I'm talking about the people who are like, this is what you can do to beat the algorithm or whatever. It's like, can you really beat it though?
Yeah.
You can't win if you're trying. Like I just.
She looks so defeated.
I'm just really starting to not care as much. You know,
I feel that,
because it's like it's always going to change. The finish line is always going to be like moving if you're trying to like bend your content around this algorithm. I'm like, I'm gonna just post it and I'm gonna just hope that people see it and people enjoy it.
Yeah.
You know, I just can't. I'm like, F that algorithm.
And one thing that they can't stop is users sending the content to other users, you know? So it's like, you can. That's big. The algorithm can be like, well, I'm only going to, isn't it where they like, it only shows to like 10% of your followers?
Right. And then, if they engage with it, then they'll send it to more and more.
Yeah. That's crazy to me.
I hate it.
It's a whole science.
I hate it. Because now it's like they're trying to get you to like promote your content, or, you know, like put money behind it, so it puts money in their pocket. So like they're like, why would I show it to all of your followers?
It's whack, man.
Bruh.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
What's the name of the thing on Netflix called? I keep forgetting the name of it.
Social Dilemma?
Yeah. people should watch that. I'm just saying.
I still haven't watched it yet.
I haven't either.
I'm always like scared to watch it. Like, do I really want to know? Like,
it was very very tastefully done, but the message is clear. Like, it's not boring. It's like
I do like how they did.
Oh, you watched it?
I watched half of it. I haven't finished it yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like they kind of set up these scenarios. Like they'll create, like they'll act out certain scenarios or whatever, and then they'll talk about how these companies will use these different, I don't know, forms of
AI,
to manipulate you into a certain thing. Or it's like, I remember I was talking to my dad about it, and we were talking a little bit about it, and I was like, man, but like when you think about it, we're always being advertised to. We have commercials, we have billboards, we have all this stuff. He said, yeah, but you know when you're being advertised to.
Right.
Like you know that that's a billboard. You know that that's a commercial. Not when you have somebody that's controlling your phone and saying, hey, like here's an ad, or here's some extra posts about this camera lens because I knew you were on B&H or something like that earlier.
That's so creepy.
But here's the thing, like, there's been times where, of course, you go on Google or whatever, you Google something, and then those things that you Google is on your social media, like advertisements, right?
I hate it.
But like, have you ever had it where you're talking about something?
Yes.
To someone?
Yes, because
like,
the mic's in the phone. Bruh, it is
that
creepy.
is scary. That is scary.
Well, I think Amazon got caught. I don't want to get into like I'm not going to get too deep into this stuff. No, but this actually wasn't a conspiracy. This happened. Like, this was in the news. This was I don't know if people were sued or not, but apparently the way they dress it up is like, you know, the little what do they call those things? Like the echoes, like
Alexa.
Alexa. No, I like Alexa better. Alexa, like, and they have people listening in when, like, you know, if you ask Alexa something,
I cannot.
So it was like when you ask Alexa something and she doesn't know how to respond to it, they'll go back and listen in on those. Like, I guess I don't know if like it's a recording or what, or they're constantly listening, but there's been instances where like there are warehouses of people that like kind of listen to this stuff, and like it got out, and there are people like, that's an invasion of privacy.
Yeah.
Like,
well, only if it can't answer it, correct?
That's what they said, because I think they want to backtrack and stuff. But
if you have access to it, like,
if you can turn it on and off,
right? You listening, like,
I believe there was somebody that was a part of one of the, like, that was their job to listen and all this stuff. Like, they've heard instances where there might be, let's say, like spousal abuse or something like that, or I don't know, just stuff that going on that they technically can't report because they're technically not supposed to be hearing it. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's a weird situation. So like, and I even remember there was one time I had an Alexa. I was
just about to ask you about that.
I had an Alexa Dot or whatever, the little
Echo
one.
Dot.
Echo Dot. That's it.
I used to work at Best Buy, guys. I know these things.
And I had it there, and it was, the little ring was going around like that, and it was in a different color than I was used to, because that blue light, but it was a different color. I don't remember what it was. I'm like,
it might as well have just been eyes on
seriously,
top of it.
just like staring at me. And I'm like, I said, Alexa, what are you doing? And I don't remember what the answer was, but I didn't like it. And I was like, what?
I'm listening to you, Joe.
No joke.
That was good.
That was like, really good.
It might as well have said that. And I was like, nope. I unplugged it and I put it in a box somewhere. I was like, no.
You've never touched it?
I have not touched it since. I have not touched it since.
I'm not gonna lie. So for Christmas, I don't even know how we got over here. we're gonna come back because I have
the perfect
question.
ending to this. So
okay.
I got you.
I got a HomePod Mini for Christmas, and I did want it simply because like being able to like play music on command, and it sounds really good. But legit, like I did Hey Siri last night, like to set my alarm on my phone. I'm surprised it didn't summons it right now.
You know, we talking about, like, y'all not finna get me this time.
But I set it really, really low so that my HomePod wouldn't catch it, but my phone would catch it. My HomePod still picked it up. And I'm like, okay, so I can't say much of anything.
Don't worry, Christina. I'll be here while you're sleeping.
So
it's creepy.
Moral to the story is read the terms and conditions. Because at this point, who knows what's in there? I know they're long, but I think we need to start reading the terms and conditions.
And I just like accept
before we accept.
I
them.
mean,
but there's a lot of legal terminology in it. I don't know.
Exactly.
I just don't get it.
Exactly. And then on top of that, like, okay, so let's say you
dictionary.com.
You read the terms and conditions and you don't like it. A lot of times we still gonna use it because this is the stuff that we need to be using, or there's a desire to use this whatever platform it is. So what, we just gonna like boycott it?
Right.
I mean, if the terms and conditions said something crazy, like just something off the wall, you'd probably be like, I think I'm just gonna find an alternative or something.
Yeah,
if they're all doing it. If they're all doing it,
the thing.
But I'm just gonna say this too. Listen, this is an idea. I'm throwing it out there to anyone that wants to run with it. We need a YouTube channel that will go over all the important parts of the terms and conditions for certain products. I will watch. I will subscribe. I will even promote your channel. But listen, I don't want to sit here and read all of that stuff. So how about you read it for us and post videos and tell us what we need to know about.
Just translate it for us, pretty much.
Please, oh please, please and thank you.
That's funny. I did want to go back though, because I know we kind of went off rails, but like we were talking about social media. I wanted to ask you, Des, because Des has like almost 12,000 followers on Instagram, and we were talking about posting, or trying to align your posting with the algorithm and all that stuff. Do you ever feel, just using social media in general, do you ever feel the pressure of your content like not hitting?
How long is this podcast?
Talk. Need me to bring you some Kleenex
and some snacks, because we're gonna be here for a while. Yeah, it's all right. How do I put this in long story short? So started off with 600 followers. Wasn't taking Instagram seriously, just like anyone else, just posting here and there. Family, food, like just regular stuff.
Random. Yeah.
Right. A friend told me like, hey, you should have more followers. And I'm like, okay, whatever. Introduced me to hashtags. Okay. Started hashtagging. In hashtagging, followers went up, likes went up, and it felt kind of weird at first. It was just kind of like,
are y'all robots?
Right.
Or you know what I'm saying? Like people you didn't know that were engaging with your content.
Exactly. When you're used to your friends and your family, liking it. I think the next post, once I started hashtagging, was like 500 likes or something like that. And I wasn't used to that, because I'm used to like the cap of 100. Like that's it. Like no one else, But yeah, so once I started seeing the climb in numbers, a lot of expectations went along with that. Not from myself, but like from others. I had people say like, so how does it feel now that you have like 5,000 followers? How does it feel that you have 10,000 followers? And I'm like, good, So they're like, there's this expectation with the amount of followers that you have, there's been times where I'm like at home watching Netflix and they're like, so like, what are you doing? And I'm like, eating food, watching the Parkers.
Right.
Like
that's real though.
It is, is this expectation of what followers imply, I guess.
Yeah.
But it's funny because there's a fine line to where a part of you starts to buy into that. You start to buy into what comes along with the followers, because you have people that you don't know that are asking you questions in your DMs or in your comments, and it feels good. It feels good to give solutions or to interact. But what I notice is when you start to see that decline, when you have, let's say 12,000 followers, but then next week you're at 11.9, right, and then you're at 11.8, and it's like. It's happening, it's like
so it's like an emotional connection to
even when number. You don't want it.
Right.
You know, it's like, you know, I don't, you know, you don't care or whatever. But when you see that decline, you start thinking like, okay, is this something that I'm doing? You know, you start to really beat yourself up about it. I mean, Christina, you know, like I found myself a little emotional one day when I woke up and went on Instagram and it was like 11.7 when it was 11.9. And I'm like, what happened to this 2000? What's going on? You know, but, you have to be careful, especially when you are taking Instagram seriously or social media and you're being intentional in your posting, your brand or whatever. You have to be careful not to put too much emotion into it, because it can, you know,
guard your heart.
Yeah. For real.
So as creators, a lot of the ways we even share our work nowadays is only social media, if not social media, YouTube, which is still, I guess, considered social media. So like as creators, how do we, you know, and I'm not saying any of us has the answers, but like, how do we combat that? Well, because I don't even have as many followers as you, and I be feeling that way sometimes. That's why I'm kind of like F the algorithm right now, you know?
Right.
Just in an attempt to try to combat that.
Well, I know I think I sent it to you guys too. I read an article a couple weeks ago about the importance of having a website, because let's say social media was to disintegrate and fall apart tomorrow. We would need something else to fall back on. And the way this article broke it down was really, or it was a video, it was something like that. But the way they broke it down was like, a website is something that's ours. Like it would be a platform that we actually own. The downside of social media is that we don't own these platforms. Right. So, you know, if they're here one day and gone the next, there's really nothing we can do about it. But one of the benefits of having a website and building your own platform in that sense is you can build an email list. And that's really where then once you have an email list, then you send out email newsletters and you really begin to build an organic audience that way. So,
it seems kind of old school to like be catching emails and all that stuff and trying to communicate via like newsletters and stuff, though. I'm not gonna lie.
It seems that way, but I'm actually been learning recently that it's low key like not like it is, but
it's not, because I still get emails on the regular from various companies. It's just like, I guess just the thought of it, you know?
Yeah, because I mean, at the end of the day, like social media is quick and it's a level of convenience that it has. So you just pull your phone out and you log on. So I think the process is a little bit longer, but history repeats itself, right?
And just to add to that, like I think if you're gonna do that too, it also depends on, like, I think you have to be creative with how you entice people and pull them into your website, because there's been plenty of websites that I go to and they're like, oh, like I'll give you like, you know, a free, you know, video on such and such. You know, you just got to sign put in your email and then we'll send it to your email. And I'd be like, okay, you know, so it's like, I think you just got to be creative in that too. But yeah, I agree with you. That's one, I think, really, really practical way to beat it.
Right. And and it's like, yeah, it's not free, but even with my website, like the most I pay is like $12 a month, I think. And that's it, you know? So it's just
that's like one streaming service.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Sometimes too.
That's a talk for next episode. All these stupid streaming platforms. Let's get geared up about that. No,
bruh, that's so much money. That's a whole nother. That's a whole nother rabbit hole right there. We ain't even gonna go there.
Also, I'm gonna make a prediction. This is super random. I'm gonna say this: in the years to come, I believe that different platforms are gonna start partnering with each other.
They better.
And I believe they're gonna do that. But I'm just saying they're going to start partnering with each other. Some of them already are, like
Hulu
ESPN
and Disney
and
Plus,
Hulu, all that stuff. But I'm talking about more. Like they're going to like become super like platforms, and then we'll just be back at like
cable
again.
But low key though, I was thinking about that yesterday. I think I'm like, I kind of long for that sometimes. You know what I'm saying? I'm beginning to long for the simpler days and the simpler times before technology got so advanced. And like y'all remember when we were talking about the evolution of cell phones, and it's like one of the cool things that I miss about phones was their capabilities only went so far. Like there were certain things you could do. And then after that, you had to get on a computer. You had to get on, and a lot of us had desktops at that. You know what I'm saying? So you had to sit down at the desk. You had to go to MapQuest, or you had to go to papajohns.com or something.
Ask Jeeves.
Yeah.
Remember having to like, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, you guys remember the little paperclip?
Yeah. And for Windows.
Yeah.
Microsoft.
Ask Clippy.
Ask Clippy.
When exactly did you switch to Mac?
What were you saying, William?
No, I remember that. I never really interacted with that paperclip, but
me neither.
I had seen
who he
is.
Yeah, me neither.
You remember Clippy's name, so I'm not buying it.
I didn't even know that was his name.
I don't even know if that is his name, to be honest.
I don't know, to be honest. All
right.
We out here spreading false information.
Right.
I think that was on an episode of The Office.
Yeah,
probably.
When Daryl was trying to make his resume.
Also, it's definitely accurate.
Oh yeah, it was. I remember that.
The Office only speaks the truth.
Right.
Yeah.
But even going back to the social media, like with the like building an emotional connection, I know it's a conversation that you and I had with just like the pressure to even be posting.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm definitely like a habitual non-poster, and it's not because I don't want to. It's like I just get hung up on the little things. But also, I do prefer. I just feel like all of our interactions are now becoming digital, and I'm not a big fan of that. I feel like I'm better when I can interact with a physical person and high five and not send an emoji fire emoji and a this and a that all the time.
Okay,
like
Dad.
I mean, like I'm sick of these kids always sending these emojis. No, I mean, don't get me wrong. Like it has its place, but it seems like these are the only interactions, or they're the majority of the interactions we have now with people. And so I feel like weird, like having to, like, the only way I can engage is if I post something. Like the only way I can hear from someone is when I make this post and then you comment on it and like it. And, oh, that's fire or whatever. I'm just, I don't know. I don't know what you call that, but like, I just feel like
well, let me ask you this. Are you putting your work out there in any other way?
No, I'm not. And I'm not. It doesn't always make sense for me. And I get hung up on the dumbest little things. It's so stupid. Like I'm sitting on content right now. Like my phone is full of content. Oh, but like
great content.
Yeah,
great,
appreciate
great
it.
photos.
But I'll like start posting something and be like, I don't know what to put as a
caption.
As a caption, I'm
Man,
like,
screw this.
In there,
I'll come back to it, and then I don't, and I just be scrolling, and then or I just go and watch a movie or something. Like I don't know, but I know I have to do better with posting because I'm probably like far on the opposite edge of that. Like some people post too much, I post way too little.
But let's unpack that. Why do you feel like you have to do better with posting?
I mean, again, that's where the space where people see you. That's where people see your work. People aren't just like, I don't have a website currently, but like if I did, like people aren't going to be like, man, I got to go see what Joe posted on his site today. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like people aren't going to websites like that.
I wouldn't say that though. Like I think because we don't go to websites like that doesn't mean that like that's the other, that it's the like that. You know what I'm saying? I think that definitely people interact more with social media.
That's what I'm saying. Like the reach is bigger on social media than it would be on a personal website.
Right. Your go-to is social media. You don't. Yeah.
Right.
Your first go-to is not a website. I get what you're saying.
I'm not saying they don't, but I'm saying the reach is bigger. It's greater when you're posting on socials. I don't know, man. That's just really the card that's being played right now.
Yeah.
Until something else comes along that we can,
I just don't like the low-key pressure that you feel, to like, oh man, I haven't posted anything in a while. Let me like post something to make sure that I'm like staying relevant, or at the forefront of people's minds.
Even when I took that break, I took that like 2-week break of just like off social media. And then when I went back on, again, the analytics, when it's like I posted a post on my story and like 2 people saw it. in a 2-hour span. I'm like,
yeah,
okay, you know what I mean? Like,
I think I don't want you guys to, and I may be talking to myself too, but even I don't want us to give social media like too much, like, I guess attention, you would say, because like, yes, it's what people use the most, but you never know. All you make the site, for example, make the site. You never know what that will turn into. Like even the things. Okay, what's up?
I get what I'm not saying don't have a website. That's not what I'm getting at.
But you're saying that
I currently don't have one, but I know that people aren't just going out there to be like, hey, let me just do a Google search for photographers in the area and see what their websites look like. Like they're more going to be able to find several different photographers on Instagram
because it's quicker to navigate,
right?
And I think it's more convenient.
One-stop shop,
right? But you said that like what you go through when you want to post something, but you don't. I feel like when you were like, let's unpack that. Like one of the things I was kind of feeling was Instagram is almost kind of. It kind of takes some of the pleasure out of it. You know what I'm saying?
So what?
At least I'm asking, like, because when you said like say what you said again about how you have struggled with posting on Instagram.
I mean, I was just saying that. Are you talking about like how we have interactions? Like all of our interactions are digital? Is that what you mean?
Well,
no.
Go ahead, Des.
What do you mean?
No. When you said that, like you're sitting on content, and you get ready to post, but then like you don't know a caption and stuff. Yeah.
Well, I think that's also more of an issue of me because I don't like talk. Like I feel like I'm like, hey, look at me, look how great I am, type of thing. This we're kind of getting into psychological stuff here, but like
Kleenex, you need
it's a lot because I just don't even like myself. No,
right, therapist, get your notepad ready.
No, I mean that's also part of the reason why I don't post as much because I'm not like a self promoter either. Because I know a lot of it like that's if we're being honest, that's what a lot of social media is saying, hey, look at me. Look how cool I am or how fresh I am or whatever. So that's also part of the reason why. So typically if I do post something of myself, like of me doing something, it's probably something stupid or funny. Or you know what I mean? Because that's the area that I feel most comfortable in. But as far as content goes, I mean, I just don't be doing it. I don't know. I can't really say like it's because of anything.
But here's the thing, like, I get what you're saying about like, you know, is it, you know, this is goofy, this is whatever, but like, why is it not okay for us to post us? You know what I mean? Like, be comfortable with this is me and I'm putting it out there. Why do we have to go through several screenings before we put something out there in case is not received well by social media when it's organically us?
You mean like if it's like our work or just like
and
you know what I mean? Like
that's a good question.
I think that's kind of what maybe I misunderstood what Joseph was saying, but when he was saying what he was saying about the posting and sitting on the content, to me what I was hearing was I'm sitting on all this content, but it's not really like it's not really that good. So
no.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't feel that way.
Okay.
He's like, no. My content's fire, baby. My content is amazing.
Because and what I was gonna get to was like, don't let social media devalue.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Your content.
I appreciate that.
I've even struggled with that. You know?
I appreciate that, but that's definitely not the case. Like I'm not scared of how my content looks. It's just I'm not as tied to it as other people are. Which in some reasons is good, but in some cases you can go ahead, post some more, son. You know what I mean? Like it's not that big of a deal. Like, but again, I'm not somebody that I'm gonna backtrack a little bit. Like I deal with a lot of like kids, like high schoolers, middle schoolers and stuff, and they have not known a different world outside of this phone.
Yeah, which is scary.
You know what I mean? Like they've grown up with these. They've grown up with an iPad. They've grown up with phones. Like this is how a lot of their interactions are through their phone.
Right.
So when you take their phone from them, it's a big deal. For me, I didn't quite grow up like that. You know what I mean? Like it was playing outside. It was playing hide and go seek. It was kickball. It was playing tag and all this stuff. And so, my phone and all this stuff came into the play, but it wasn't like a necessity for me to be on my phone all the time.
Yeah.
So when a lot of our interactions now become, okay, stories and reels and posts and commenting and hashtag this, hashtag that, blah, 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 blah. I kind of like feel, man, like
I don't got to do all that.
Yeah, I'm not finna do it because it's not like a thing for me. Like I'd rather just, get a bonfire going and just, sit around with the homies.
But what's the like? I get that because I grew up the same way. But like, what's the alternative? You know what I mean? Like in the sense that like, I agree. Like we have to learn how to have conversations with each other in person, and not speak emoji. But like, how do we utilize it to where we reach people that we can't sit down and have bonfires with? That's like, how do we utilize it in the right way and not? Because it has to be used.
Yeah. I guess I'm thinking in two different scenarios. Like, I'm thinking like, even though they're separate, but they're still the same. Like, sometimes I use social media just to post something that I think is funny or whatever. And, that's kind of its own thing. But then you have that self-promotion side. That is... It's different. And I'm not a big fan of like saying, hey, look at me, look how great I am.
Oh, yeah.
Like I prefer to have these interactions of like, oh man, this was funny. This was pretty good, right, guys? Whatever. And then I can throw in a few like, oh man, got to do this shoot with so-and-so. Man, check these out. I love how these pictures came out. But like, I'm not finna be every day like, man, fire. Yo, check me out. Your boy's bad. You know what I mean?
Question.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you've ever missed out on opportunities because you don't have a strong like social media presence?
I mean, I think I've come to notice that a little bit more now because some of the people that we interact with, like I'll notice like let's say we both follow them, right? Like all three of us follow this person or whatever. And then they'll come back and they'll follow you back or they'll just follow it. Like, you know what I mean? And like, I think cause we all do it. It's like you look at somebody's page and you check out their work, and sometimes it's like, yo, if it's fire, like I'm gonna hit that follow button because like I can get inspiration from this person. Maybe I just think they're dope, whatever. I'm gonna follow them. But I think even for me, like absolutely, there's been times I mean, I can't really say specifically, but I do feel like there's probably people that didn't follow me because they don't see enough stuff on my page or whatever. Now it's super random. Like I was getting notifications here on my phone. I'm like, what's going on? Like, I'm like, why am I getting these random likes from these random people? I don't have nobody in common with them. And I look, I'm like, because it was a picture of Kellen Mons that I posted from the workout for getting ready for the combine. And I'm looking, I'm like, oh, I went to his page and I went on his story and he had posted in his story one of those pictures. I'm like, okay.
Recently?
Like literally while we were recording.
Oh, wow.
So, and like, I was just like, oh, okay. That's where it was coming from. And like, that stuff's cool. Like, I'm not mad at that. Like, it's like, I don't hate it, but I also am not in love with it. You know what I mean? I think social media is a great acquaintance for me.
Yeah.
But I think when people start to fall in love with it, I think it's where it turns me off.
Yeah. And like, I'm gonna say one thing real quick because I know we got to wrap up, but
time is far spent.
But I think Joseph, it was two things I wanted to say. One was some people, this social media is like their identity. It's their identity and it's everything, And it's kind of, that was really speaking to what you were speaking to before. But also you said something before, and I'm not going to draw a blank. Oh, yes. You used to say when you were coming up, it was like the only people kids had to compete with were the ones in their high school. That was as big as their world was, right? Is what you said?
Right.
Yeah.
Now they're competing with the world.
The world. Yeah. And bro, like just think about that. The how much that plays into someone's psyche. If I'm a kid, let's say I'm a 10-year-old kid in my neighborhood, and all I do is hang out with the kids in my neighborhood. That's my world.
Right.
I don't know I don't even know, let alone the kids in another state. I don't even know about the kids that's 4 blocks down from me. You know what I mean? Like, this is my neighborhood. This is the people I know. These are people I grow up with. And sometimes it's hard enough to navigate that, you know? But now you got kids that they got to compare themselves to the entire world. Like, everybody is on Instagram. And you know what? And before, it's like you can say, like, I don't know if, you know, they really like me as their friend or not. Like, you know, kid talk. But now it's literally measurable how much someone likes you
based on that
based
number.
on that.
It's like, I know kids that will post something, and if it doesn't get enough likes, they'll delete it and then repost it later.
I'm not gonna lie. At one point, I did that.
Yeah, I've done that too.
And but what does that
I
say?
didn't hit. Like, let me try it again.
But what does that say though? You know what I mean? Like I don't remember the statistic. I think it was actually on the Social Dilemma movie where they were talking about this spike in suicides of kids since social media came into play, and it spiked. Because now I have all these beautiful people on Instagram that I have to compare myself to, you know, and now there's all these things. Like I'm starting to see I'm highlighting. Excuse me. I'm highlighting all the things that I don't feel comfortable about now. Oh, that girl got a big butt. I ain't got no butt. Oh, that dude got all the muscles. I ain't got all the muscles. You know, and this guy's getting all the play. He's getting all the likes. And I post my picture of myself and I smile and it gets 1 like. And I'm like, okay, kill self. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like we are comparing ourselves
to something that's not even real.
Like and it's never obtainable.
Right.
You can't obtain it, and we're chasing something that we will never get. And we know, like, oh, if I can just get there, I'll feel better about myself,
right.
or I'll be happy. But it's not even like that line just keeps moving, bro. You know what I'm saying? So I think I try to make sure I have the most healthiest approach to social media as possible. Sometimes it's overkill. I'm not gonna front. But I also don't want to be dependent on any likes or any like any way any person tries to interact with me via social media. Like, bro, all right, last thing, I'm sorry, I promise. It used to bother me when people I know and talk with on a consistent basis, know and love, would tell me happy birthday on Facebook, but they wouldn't text me. Or hit me up like, bro, you got my number.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, why are you like purposely bypassing your text app or whatever and going to and going on Facebook to do it? Like, bro, just tell me. Like, you know, we have that rapport. Now, people that I don't have a rapport with, sure, thank you, I appreciate you. But like, you my homie, you come to my house, like, we chill. Don't send me no Facebook message. Text me or call me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I was just going to say that it's funny that you said the whole comparison thing, because it's like constantly falling into the comparison trap.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, when you have people, especially like teenagers, you have teenagers that don't know who they are, right?
Yeah.
They haven't found who they are, their place in the world or whatever. So they look for it in others. And when your circle of influence is small, like you said, like high school and like immediate family and stuff like that, that's one thing. But when you open that up to the world, now you have more opinions, more like things to follow, more, you know, it opens up yourself to just foolishness, because like you're trying to find who you are in someone else's opinion. You know what I mean? So it's scary, man.
Like, social media, it can be an amazing thing, but it can also be a very toxic thing. Yeah. And I think it's about finding that balance, which is easier for people our age, but the kids, like, especially, can you imagine like a kid who is, you know, posting their work or trying to just get into this, you know, or trying to find what they like, and, you know, they're creative or whatever, and now they're putting that out there to the world, and you don't have as big as a following as somebody, like, you're gonna, I don't know, like, question what you do, or is this the lane that I should be in, because maybe, you know, I'm not received well, when really it's just like, yo, just do what you love, just be yourself, and then you'll find that along the way. Like, these are certain things, there's just certain things you shouldn't be thinking about so young. you know, but adults, like grown people, are dealing with the same thing, which is crazy.
Yeah.
People who lived without it. Like I remember when I got my first cell phone, I lost that thing for like 2 weeks. Wasn't even, you know, tripping off of it. But now if I leave my phone, if I'm in the bathroom and I leave it in my room, like, oh crap, where's my phone at? You know, so
what
it's
am I supposed to do on the toilet?
can't go
now
back to,
what?
can't go back to looking at the Glade.
You start reading all the
Lysol,
all the directions, and
the warning label.
Right. Oh
do
crap,
not
my phone's
spray on
charging.
feet.
That's stupid. It was a meme that we saw earlier, guys.
That's funny.
But to wrap up, I just want to go to each of you and say, like, what's one, as a creative, what's one tip that you would give to have a healthy relationship with social media?
Let me go first.
Yeah.
Delete it. Take a break from it for a while. I think that's one thing that, like,
I was like, whoa,
never do it ever again in life.
Delete it. I was like, okay, hot take.
Yeah, don't delete your account, but delete that app. You can download it again in a week. That's one thing that I can fully attest to, because I do it. Like, you know, my job still has me use it, but whenever I at least to get away from my personal account, just log out, you know?
Yeah.
And people can actually take a break from this thing. I feel like people forgot that somewhere along the way.
Yeah.
But take a break from it and go for a walk.
Yes.
Go outside.
That's good.
It's pretty awesome.
It's simple.
It's
simple
it's
things.
simple. So
I mean, one thing you did say though, you said like sometimes your job won't allow you to take a break from it.
sometimes,
Sometimes, or we feel like, okay, we need this as a promotional tool,
Yeah.
so I need to like stay consistent with it or whatever. But
but when it's becoming an issue for you, that's just, I mean, we can start to get into mental health at that point. And if your job does require you, you may need to have a talk with your supervisor or maybe some of your coworkers or something.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you gotta have a break from anything. I mean, too much of anything is not good, and we definitely are on social media as a world or whatever, a society. We're on there too much, and it's in the facts, you know. So take a break, go for a walk, and enjoy life, I guess.
Yeah.
Joe,
I'm gonna piggyback a little bit on that, and if you have an iPhone, like there's an app in there that you can set parameters to, like how long you're on certain things.
Screen time.
Yeah, screen time. And so it might be beneficial to say, okay, I'm only going to be on Instagram for this amount of time a day.
Mm-hmm.
And once that time is up, you know, it shut it down, you know. Engage with the world outside of the socials every now and then, like William's saying. You know, take a trip to the bathroom without your phone. You know what I mean?
Bring a book with you, maybe.
Baby steps.
That's real.
Like real talk, real talk. I remember even like I was driving home and I'm like, okay, no music, no nothing going right now. Just the windows down, driving down the road.
Yeah.
Be alone with your thoughts for a minute.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
that can be scary, bro.
It's different because we're not
quiet.
used to it. We're so used to always having something happening.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Stimuli.
But yeah, so I would just say to limit your screen time. Be intentional about that. And there was something else. Oh, and just a quick word is like, again, like social media, don't be in love with it. You know, make it an acquaintance, not a best friend.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. All right, Des.
It's kind of piggybacking off of the both of you.
It's too heavy up here. We all can't be on.
It's a bunch of pigs.
But when you do take that break, in that break, figure out who you are. Figure out what you like. Figure out who you are outside of social media. I think when we put too much weight on social media, we lose ourselves. So if you can still function when you don't have that social media or that screen in front of you, I think you're doing well, you know. So figure out who you are so you don't rely on someone else to tell you who you are, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
That's good. I think my advice would be, like I said a few times, F the algorithm. You know, I'm gonna put that on a shirt.
Hey,
F the algorithm that. Because you know, I don't feel the need to be pressured to post certain things a certain time or, you know, a certain day. Like, let's get back to the pure intentionality behind sharing what we do. As you know, whether you're a creative or you're just sharing like your life with the world, like let's not do it for the likes or the views or, you know, or the comments or the amount of shares that we get. Let's just do it because like I just want to share it. Like I made this video of my nephew a couple weeks ago, and I really enjoyed making the video. It was some footage that I had sat on for about a year. So I finally got the chance to edit it, and I really loved the way that it turned out. It was super simple. And I'm like, man, I want to share this. And it was 1:00 in the morning. And I'm like, oh, maybe I should wait and like post it at like 10 a.m. or whatever. And I'm like, nah, man, I'm going to share this video. And I posted it, and I went to bed, and I woke up, and I'm like, I got the same amount of response, you know, in about a day's time, like the same amount of response that I would have gotten, you know, if I posted it at 10 a.m. And it's like, granted, it wasn't even about that for me. I just wanted to share the video. And I'm like, if people see it or they don't see it, it doesn't really matter. I just wanted to share the video, you know?
Yeah.
So that would be my advice. F the algorithm.
Yeah.
And
F,
do you.
The F is for forget. For all of the kids that are watching right now.
That's good.
It's just like,
that's good.
Yes. It can be for forget.
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah. It could be for something else.
Yes.
Hey, post what you like, not what's going to get you likes. Straight up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's good.
Yeah.
Period.
That's
Point
good.
blank.
I love it. Well, I mean, hey, I'm glad that Des joined us today. I guess, you know, all things do like really work out. Even though it's been a fight today, like good. This was good. This was good. We gotta bring you on more, you know?
You're a natural, Des.
You are.
Thanks, you really are.
Her podcast will be coming soon, like I said.
Yes.
Give it about a month or so. I'm her manager, so, you know, we're still working out the kinks. But, you know.
It's no joke. She really is my manager.
Facts.
Yes,
and I take my
real.
10% off the top. You okay there?
Yep.
You're breaking up. I'm gonna need you to put your mask on. You're gonna be coughing like that. Well, Des, thank you for joining us. Tell people how they can find you on Instagram and all the things that you're doing and all the different socials that we just told people to take a break from.
Right.
Well, when you guys get done with your break, you can follow me on Instagram at truly.desirae. That's DESIRAE. And you can follow me on Pinterest at Truly Desirae as well. Facebook, don't really use it, but if you want, you know, just Desirae Corbin. But ideally Instagram and Pinterest for sure.
Bet. I love it. And, you know, while you're at it, you can go to Creatives Are Essential on Instagram or creativesareessential.co and pick up that same hoodie that she has on right now. Gang, gang. Gang, gang. I love it. All right, y'all. Will, this time, take us out. Take us out.
All hearts and minds clear.
I have a few more things I like to say. No, I'm just kidding.
I was gonna say we'll save for the next episode. But this was awesome. I really enjoyed myself, and I hope you all enjoyed watching. And stay safe out there. And we'll see you next time. Be blessed.
And I'll just add this to the end, and you can say this next time. But wherever you're listening or watching, subscribe and rate and comment and do all of the things.
Yeah, yes. You could. Yeah, anywhere where you can find podcasts, we'll be there. Spotify,
Boom.
Apple Podcasts,
boom,
and
Stitcher Radio,
Stitcher,
Google Play,
all
of them.
And of course, YouTube, if you want the full experience, audio and visual, here we are. So
yeah.
Yes, thank you all so much. Yes, and subscribe. Thank you all so much for watching, and share it too. You know, if you like what it was, share it with a friend.
It's a long outro.
I know. I'm new to this. I've just, work with me. It'll be better the next time. But thanks for watching, guys. Peace.
Later.
See ya.
All right.
And we're like, peace, peace, peace. See ya.